Barron Trump is no longer the bushy-headed boy from his father's first term. From college rumors to special dates, the youngest Trump has changed a lot over the years. On October 2nd, 2020, then-President Donald Trump was sent to Walter Reed Hospital after contracting COVID. He made a speedy recovery at the hospital and was back in the Oval Office by October 7th. But while the president's battle with COVID caught the most headline attention, he was not the only member of the first family to contract the virus. First Lady Melania Trump and their son Barron also tested positive for the virus. Like many parents, Melania's main concern was always for her son's health. In an essay later quoted by The Independent, Melania opened up about her experience with the virus and her fears as a mother. After testing positive herself, Melania said, "Naturally, my mind went immediately to our son. To our great relief, he tested negative. I couldn't help but think, what about tomorrow or the next day?"
My first priority is, to be a mom.
Barron was tested for COVID again over the next couple of days, and his mother's fears came true when the results came back positive. Fortunately, Barron was a lucky case, and although he contracted the virus, he remained asymptomatic. In January 2021, the Trumps officially exited the White House. President Trump's exit seemed to be a family affair, with Melania by his side as he made his farewell speech. Trump's children, Ivanka, Donald Jr., Tiffany, and Eric, attended with their partners and children to show their support. However, one member of the family was noticeably missing: Barron. The 45th president made his send-off speech on the tarmac, telling the crowd,
"Have a good life. We will see you soon."
From there, he boarded the plane. According to People, Melania and Donald's teenage son was on Air Force One, flying with them to Florida, but was not present for the speech or seen going onto the plane with his parents. As the youngest of Trump's children and Melania's only child, the family was quite protective of Barron throughout Trump's time in the White House. His absence from the farewell may have just been another way for Melania to shield her teenage son from the spotlight. After leaving the White House in 2021, the Trump family spent most of their time in Palm Beach, Florida, residing at their members-only Mar-a-Lago club. Although Melania and Barron previously spent most of their time in New York, they seemed to have settled in Florida. The move to the Sunshine State became solidified when Barron was enrolled in a private school in the area. The elite private school Oxbridge Academy announced Barron's enrollment into their class of 2024. Elite schooling comes with a large price tag, with the annual tuition costing $43,400 with an additional yearly fee of $2,500, according to the Oxbridge Academy website. Before Barron started at the school, the institution sent out an email informing parents that he would be accompanied by a small group of Secret Service agents for protection. They wrote, "We are working directly with the Secret Service to ensure that logistics and security work smoothly and discreetly with little impact on students, faculty, staff, or day-to-day operations." When Donald Trump officially launched his 2024 presidential campaign in November 2022, Barron stood in support of his father. After losing the 2020 election to Joe Biden, Donald Trump announced from the ballroom of Mar-a-Lago that he would campaign for office again in 2024.
"I am running because I believe the world has not yet seen the true glory of what this nation can be."
Although he didn't speak during the event, Barron was quite noticeable as he had grown taller than his father and siblings.
My Barron. My tall Barron. He's very tall.
According to Business Insider, Barron entered the ballroom with his siblings. However, while Barron stepped up to support his father, other family members were notably absent. Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump had been huge supporters of their father's political career, but neither were present on this night. A source told the Daily Beast that Donald Jr. was on a hunting trip, which he couldn't return in time due to bad weather conditions. However, Ivanka's absence seems to have been more purposeful, as she hoped to stay out of politics during the 2024 campaign. Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign was somewhat dampened by his indictment for allegedly paying hush money to adult entertainer Stormy Daniels. Rather than rallying together, many members of the Trump family were doing their best to stay out of public while Donald Trump faced a legal battle. A source told People that Melania was angry and didn't want to hear about the alleged hush money payment. Rather than spending time with her husband during the scandal, she chose to focus her energy on close friends, her parents, and of course, her son.
I say I have 2 kids. I have a big boy, Donald, and I have a little boy, Barron.
Melania had been protective of Barron throughout her husband's legal battle. The pair kept a low profile, mostly staying close to home, a source told People. His mom is protective of him, but he is free around Mar-a-Lago. They are low-key with their socializing. In 2024, Barron moved to the Big Apple to study at New York University. Although he initially seemed excited to attend NYU, Barron was not always well received at the prestigious school. For one thing, its student body tends to be left-leaning. For another, NYU Republicans didn't seem to click with Barron either. NYU's Republican Club president Kaya Walker told Vanity Fair of Barron in April 2025, "He's sort of like an oddity on campus. He goes to class, he goes home." All this bad publicity has unfortunately led to some pretty nasty rumors about Barron's time at school. Some social media posts have alleged that Barron only chose NYU after receiving a rejection letter from Harvard University. However, the fact-checking site Snopes reported that there is no evidence to support these claims.
It's called fake news.
The 2025 fall semester, meanwhile, ushered in rumors that Barron had dropped out of NYU. In reality, a university official told People that Barron remained enrolled in NYU, but had chosen to spend a semester at one of the school's campuses in another city. Speaking on his granddaughter Kai Trump's YouTube vlog, President Trump indirectly addressed the rumors about Barron.
He's doing good. He's a good boy.
Sources claim Barron has been pretty successful in the romance department. One source told Page Six that Barron actually took a date to Trump Tower, although the outing may not have gone as smoothly as planned. The insider claimed that an entire floor of Trump Tower had to be shut down to ensure that Barron and his date would be protected by maximum security.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Talk about an awkward dating moment. Luckily for Barron, however, campus sources say that he has received plenty of romantic interest since starting NYU. An insider even told People, "He's tall and handsome. A lot of people seem to think he's pretty attractive. Yes, even liberal people like him." This same source said that Barron is overall popular with women on campus. They added, "He's a ladies' man for sure. He's really popular with the ladies." Barron Trump's towering stature is said to be a real hit on the dating scene, but having a famous family certainly hasn't hurt either. As for the special someone who Barron took to Trump Tower, as of early 2026, their identity remains a mystery. Student life hasn't prevented the youngest Trump kid from making a buck or a million. Barron actually made millions before entering his 20s, generating both admiration and controversy. Barron sold $40 million worth of cryptocurrency while he was still technically a teenager. After taxes, this would have left him with a massive $25 million payday. Barron developed an interest in cryptocurrency before his father even knew what it was. At the launch of the Trump family cryptocurrency company, World Liberty Financial, the president revealed, "Barron knows so much about this. Barron's a young guy, but he knows it. He talks about his wallet. He's got 4 wallets or something, and I'm saying, what is a wallet?" Of course, it didn't take Donald long to get in on the cryptocurrency game himself. According to a report in Forbes, the president has accumulated approximately $1 billion in crypto during his second presidency, establishing Barron as one of his father's primary cryptocurrency advisors. An insider told People, Barron has been actively working on his own financial interests and has spent time with others who he is involved with in that area. Another source told the publication that Barron likes making money. Color us surprised. Barron Trump is one of 5 children from Donald's 3 marriages. Barron's older brothers, Donald Jr. and Eric, are the children of Donald and his first wife, Ivana. Also from the first marriage is Ivanka. Barron's 2 older brothers often appear in the spotlight due to their leading roles in the Trump Organization, and all 3 of the older kids made appearances during their father's presidential campaigns, speaking at both the 2016 and 2020 Republican National Conventions. The siblings were also joined by their younger sister, Tiffany, from Donald's second marriage to Marla Maples, who spoke in support of her father as well.
Our generation is unified in the facing the future in uncertain times.
While Barron may have been absent from the official podium, we're certain he would have been speaking too if he were just a little older, and it's not like he isn't familiar with being on TV. Barron made his TV debut at just 2 months old on The Oprah Winfrey Show. At that time, Oprah's longtime friend Gayle King interviewed Donald and Melania and effectively introduced little Barron to the world. When asked what it was like to have a baby again after so many years, the then 59-year-old Donald said, "I think it's terrific, and Melania is a fantastic mother." Melania also told King that Donald was a great father and that he spent time with Barron every morning watching TV and reading newspapers. The 3 then got to talking about the choice in name. Donald said, "It's a name I always loved, but really never had the courage to use."
So, Daniel, you're not opposed to changing diapers, you just haven't had to do it.
You know,
but you know how to do it.
I would be able to do it, yes.
Yeah.
After their chat, King toured the stunning Trump nursery, which was decked out with a beautiful crib and lots of stuffed animals. When Barron was born in 2006, he became the recipient of some pretty lavish baby gifts from A-list stars. Fashion designer Dennis Basso sent the baby a white mink blanket, and famed journalist Barbara Walters sent him a massive stuffed dog, according to People. Even Ellen DeGeneres sent the new baby a gold stroller with its own chandelier. Melania was later photographed pushing Barron in the stroller around her penthouse. Other friends reportedly sent a number of onesies to baby Barron, many that featured Donald's catchphrases from his Celebrity Apprentice days, including, quote, "You're fired." Barron continued to rake in spectacular presents after his father took the White House. It's not uncommon for international leaders and governments to bestow gifts upon the president and his family as a gesture of goodwill. Often seen as tools of international diplomacy, The Washington Post reported that these items symbolize the friendship and journey shared between countries. Historically, some of these gifts were even actual animals, too. According to reports, President Ronald Reagan received a baby elephant from Sri Lanka, President George H.W. Bush received a Komodo dragon from Indonesia, and President Richard Nixon and his wife were gifted 2 pandas from China. Considering all of that, it may not come as much of a shock to learn that Barron received a horse from Mongolia in 2019. As noted by the AP, the nation has often gifted horses to its dignitaries. Barron's horse, named Victory, reportedly remained in Mongolia. The press secretary at the time said that the family was, quote, very grateful for the gift.
Thank you very much for the horse. Did you see a picture of the horse? Not yet. Beautiful.
Thanks to his mother's homeland and native language, Barron speaks both Slovenian and English fluently, according to Bustle. Additionally, his mother told People magazine in 2009 that Barron also speaks French, making him a trilingual toddler at the time.
I have to go to school now.
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
According to Mary Jordan, author of The Art of Her Deal, Barron continues to speak to his mother in Slovenian to this day, and apparently the two even share the language in the presence of the Secret Service, Jordan told CBS News. There's a unit within the family unit, and it's Melania, her mother, her father, and Barron, and they all speak Slovenian.
Their integrity, compassion, and intelligence reflects to this day on me and for my love of family and America.
Fun fact, reportedly no one in the Secret Service speaks Slovenian, but they may have picked up on a few phrases by this point. Jordan also revealed how Barron and Melania's conversations have impacted the president, who, unlike his son, did not learn his wife's native language. Jordan said, "He has said it annoys him sometimes because he has no idea what they're saying." First children are practically staples of the White House. President Barack Obama brought along his 2 young daughters, Sasha and Malia, when he took office, and both kids and teens have lived at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue during past administrations. But when Donald won the 2016 election, Melania made it clear that she and Barron would not immediately be moving from their Manhattan penthouse. Apparently, she didn't want to interrupt Barron in the middle of his school year, according to the New York Times. While Melania also worried about exposing Barron to the scrutiny of the press, the pair finally moved to Washington, D.C. in June of 2017. Even so, Melania remained cautious of the decision. According to People magazine, she was reluctant to relocate not just because of Barron's schooling, but also due to her love of New York City.
We love to live in Washington. We have a very busy life, and it's exciting as well.
Despite their differences in political views, several former first children have jumped to Barron's defense when he was targeted by haters. Criticism of Barron's appearance and demeanor began as early as his father's first inauguration, according to People. For one, Chelsea Clinton quickly defended Barron after the inauguration in 2017, tweeting, "Barron Trump deserves the chance every child does, to be a kid. It's high time the media and everyone leave Barron Trump alone and let him have the private childhood he deserves." Clinton wasn't the only first kid to defend Barron either. Jenna Bush Hager told the outlet that the unwarranted criticism made her angry, explaining, "The truth is, obviously Barron Trump didn't ask his dad to run for president. It wasn't his decision." But Barron's mother likely offers the most constant protection from negative press, most notably when the late actor Peter Fonda tweeted that Barron should be removed from his family in an attempt to bring attention to the immigration crisis in the United States. Melania reported Fonda to the Secret Service, according to People. The tweet garnered significant outrage and was then deleted. Later, Stanford law professor Pamela Karlan made a derogatory comment about Barron during his father's first impeachment trial.
"So while the president can name his son Barron, he can't make him a baron."
Melania fired back, tweeting, A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics. Pamela Karlan, you should be ashamed of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it. Karlan later apologized for her damaging remarks.
And it was wrong of me to do that. I wish the president would apologize, obviously, for the things that he's done that's wrong, but I do regret having said that.
Barron has become the spitting image of his father as he's grown up, but according to Melania, he resembles his father in other ways too. So much so that she has a special nickname for him. She revealed to Parenting, "He is independent and opinionated and knows exactly what he wants. He is a mixture of us in looks, but his personality is why I call him Little Donald." Melania also noted that Little Donald admires his father's career and success. She said, "He likes the way he talks, the way he is. They have beautiful respect and admiration for each other." Many children have lived in the White House over the years, but for quite some time, only daughters have resided at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Obama had 2 girls, as did George W. Bush, and before that, President Bill Clinton had a daughter as well. In fact, Barron was the first boy to move into the White House in over 50 years, according to CNN. The last presidential son to reside there was John F. Kennedy Jr., whose father was assassinated in 1963 when he was just 2 years old. When Donald won the election in 2016, presidential expert and author Kate Anderson Brower suggested to CNN that Melania might benefit from speaking to former First Ladies about their experiences raising kids in the White House. That's what First Lady Hillary Clinton did when she asked Jackie Kennedy for advice on being America's first mom. As he grew into his teenage years, Barron's clear passion for soccer was well documented. In 2017, he was fortunate enough to meet players from the DC United team while they were visiting the White House, and he chatted with forward Patrick Mullins and midfielders Julian Boucher and Marcelo Sarvis about the game. The team then gave Barron an official game ball, which had been signed by the team. Shortly after their exchange, Mullins told the Washington Post, "Barron was very knowledgeable about soccer, knew about DC United, and was interested to know more. For a little kid to have a passion for the game and to be knowledgeable and have a conversation with us, it makes me feel good about kids growing up playing the game." In 2017, Barron was also recruited for the U.S. Soccer Development Academy and even scored a position on DC United's under-12 team, as noted by Soccer America. And in other news, a year later, even Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared to know that Barron was into the game.
That will go to my son Barron. We have no question. In fact, Melania, here you go.
Given that Barron doesn't appear in public too often, any changes in his looks are easily noticeable. So when Barron emerged from Marine One with his parents in August of 2020 and towered over his 6'3" father, the internet went nuts with speculation immediately. One Twitter user asked, "Does anyone know if he can play ball?" Another said that the then 14-year-old Barron could have been arriving at the NBA draft instead of the White House. Barron's stature shouldn't be too much of a surprise, though, given both of his parents' heights. His dad is well over 6 feet tall, and according to CBS News, Melania Trump is 5'11". In case you forgot, she was a model after all. Clearly, Barron had a growth spurt on the world stage, and who knows, maybe someday he'll trade his soccer ball for a basketball. Wherever life takes him, we're pretty sure that as much as he may prefer a little more privacy than the rest of his family, we'll be keeping up with Barron as his future unfolds.